What my mindset is, yeah, from being a young farmer, I never had I never worked for anybody because I never had the option. That's number one.
Okay.
But if I had no money, yeah, and I could work for somebody, then I'd be prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So it's your situation,
Right.
because we all need each other. Even today, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for other people.
Right.
And we seldomly fail to understand. Proper people don't. Without people, I wouldn't be anything.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to the 13th and final round podcast.
And today we have a special guest here.
Yes, we do. We have Peter Fury in the house. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. We've got notes, but we know we're not going to need them notes. You know, you can tell stories of this.
That's it.
For me, you're a natural born walking evangelist preacher. Has anyone ever said that to you before?
No, they haven't.
Because I can see that inside of you, there's so much redemption in your life. Why the inspiration I get from listening to your life is how there's always 3 or 4 different parts to life and how you can turn it around and how you've took everything in and adapted and constantly adapting. There's just so much facets to your life that I find interesting, but I broke it down to, you probably know more, but 6 different areas of your life. For us, we'd like to start back because it's close to our hearts with you starting out at the Ingalls camp. And is that the first boxing experience for you?
No.
Any experience before that?
I probably went to 1 or 2 gyms with my brothers when I was about 6 or 7. I vaguely remember something, might be Claycross or something. And then, but the main one was more or less Brendan's, definitely. I went there when I was about 9.
Wow.
Till about 12 or something like that.
So one of the best years of your life?
Definitely.
What do you remember from Brendan's gym? What do you remember?
I remember Elbow McGraham dancing to the music and skipping and doing the lines. Yeah. And shadow boxing.
You still can do the lines?
I could do the lines a little bit. Not as good as him, mate. But yeah, things like that. I remember Brendan, obviously, and yeah, a few lads in the gym. It was good. It was a good. You know, I went there obviously with my brothers, and yeah, it was good times back then for sure.
Yeah.
Who were some of the guys coming through back then? They would have been kids. Were Naz and Ryan Rhodes and people like that around?
No, later, a lot later.
Later, all right.
You know, I'm talking. You know, I'm born in '68, and I'd be only 9. So this would be what, 68, 70s, mid to late 70s, 1970s.
Wow.
We wasn't around then. Wasn't around there, John.
Who would have been around at that time? Was Sluggo 2 would have come after that, wouldn't he?
A lot later again. Yeah. That was in Henry Wharton's time. Yeah. Yeah, 56 now, old man.
Wow. Well, I know. I know you were born not too far from me, Dewsbury.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Bradford.
Was you?
Yeah. So did you go in any boxing gyms around
No, I
there?
was married in Bradford.
Oh yeah, whereabouts?
Registrar.
My mum and dad was as well.
Was it?
In town.
Yeah.
They're still there, you know.
Yeah, I got married there.
Well, and you got Lum Lane up the road, you got all them little sugar cane and all them close Palm Cove.
And then when I was a young lad, I think, I don't remember ages roughly, but
Yeah.
7, 8. I was, we stayed at a place called Esholt Lane in Shipley.
Shipley, yeah.
We stayed there on
Wow.
there's a gypsy site there, down the lane.
Right. Have you stayed anywhere in Homewood?
No.
No, because a lot of my family around there, and some of them do a lot of gypsies around there. They live
I think
around
we
there.
stayed there for about a year or so, I
Yeah.
think.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've ran Bradford then?
Yeah.
I must have walked past you then back in days. Then.
Right, well, you got it done. You're a lot younger than me, though.
You could offer me a lolly or something, you know what I mean?
But like, so when you were left Brendan's and you went through to boxing, tell us a little bit about, because I know you spent a little bit of time in Manchester. You know a lot of similar people.
Yeah.
What was the boxing scene in Manchester like for you? Which was it? Colhurst and Moston?
Yeah, with old Brian Hughes, that's where I met Pat Barrett. You know, we've done a little bit of training there, but, you know, look, I've always been up and down in gyms all my life, really, from being a young kid. You know, wherever we was, just call into a boxing gym, get the gloves on, have a spar, and then go home and have me tea or something. It was like that. Never took it seriously, because obviously I had different interests back then. But always loved boxing.
Yeah.
I've always been around it, and even when we was little kids, my father used to talk about it. So I've always been, the family's always been involved in it.
So which side of the family was more the fighting family? Was your mum's side or your dad's side?
Or both?
Or both.
Probably both. Well, both, but I didn't know them.
Right.
But on my father's side, you know, I did know them. My father always spoke of them, you know. My mother was more or less quiet, you know, she's not interested in anything like that. So, although there was on my mother's side as well, we more knew about the history on my father's side.
What I find interesting about you when you talk about boxing, and I can relate to it, is there's different facets to it, right? So some fighters make good fighters but bad trainers. Some people make very good trainers and not bad fighters. And nowadays there seems to be a lot of people arriving into boxing, and I always say to Donovan, I don't even know how he arrived into boxing. There's also, do you understand what I mean?
Was it a mistake or was you bullied? You don't bullied, but
you've been around. What I'm trying to get,
you've been on fighting.
Is Peter's been around boxing all his life, like me. I've been around it all my life. And
myself as well,
But there's a lot of people that are now arriving into boxing and they don't know much about boxing. They haven't done the time. Do you understand what I mean? Some people are coming through without that time served in it. I mean, for a living, I'm a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning coach, and I work with fighters and I help fighters. I helped Deco Esman at the weekend with his nutrition, which was a good fight. Did you see that fight?
I didn't see it, no.
Fight of the year,
good fight,
Was
good
it?
fight,
Fight of the year. He said to me after the fight, he said, if I hadn't done nutrition properly, if I hadn't got him on point, he wouldn't have got from knockdown. He got a heavy knockdown in the 9th, and then stopped him. And it's like, it looked like it was over.
That's when your conditioning really comes in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's when the hard work and you think, why am I doing this?
That's right.
Pays off.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, it's not just the hard work. You do the hard work, but it's down to the nutrition as well. You've got to eat right, and it's all about timing when you're eating the food and stuff. You know what I mean? And getting into your body the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But there's the new school. So for a living, I do the new school. All right. I never went into boxing training. I like some of the things that you say. I never went into boxing training because I looked at the situation and thought, renting a gym I can't afford, buying a gym I can't afford. I love that you give so much time to fighters and you can do that. But it's not a financial gain sport, is it? Do you know what I mean? So I looked at what I could do with the transferable skills to pay my bills, look after my wife, and I went in that direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you've got to do, you know. I remember when I was younger, they'd offer you a few £100 for a fight. At the time, I'd be making £3,000 or £4,000.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my time into that. If I'd have had no wife, and you know, it would have been different. Then I would have done. But you know, the past, it's what it is.
This is what I'm trying to say. There's all this new stuff coming into it now. That should be an add-on, but boxing is a specific, sport-specific sport. So, you know, to try to separate like old school way of training and new school way of training, but really it's just we've evolved. So nutrition plays a big part. We shouldn't be putting bin bags on sweatsuits anymore, but we should be doing the fundamentals of what you do and how you teach.
Do you know, over the years, what I look at with boxing, everybody specialises in different things, but I more or less concentrate on the boxing side. You know, I know whether a fighter needs to be heavier, lighter, by looking at him, seeing him perform, seeing what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. And, you know, to have good conditioning is a major part. It plays a role. But, you know, don't get too excited with it. Because as long as you're strong and you're fit and you've got enough fuel to do that training and build from it and get the right amount of rest, diet's important, you're eating, rest is just important, and also the right amount of training so you don't overtrain the fighter.
That's right.
So I think it goes on experience to get it right, and you know, and knowing the fighter, because every fighter's different as well. You can push others harder than what you can push the other one. What works for him doesn't work for him or her or whatever. So it's individualised. Because I've always said many a time, every fighter's got their own fingerprint, their own DNAs, their own. You got to fight to your own attributes, you know, to what you are.
And that sounds like a good training, because you're looking at these fighters and saying, well, okay, I'm going to give him this way. I'm going to give that one this way. No, you train this way. And that's the way you do it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Every fighter's different. Every fighter be trained different. I've always said there's thousands of boxers. Anybody can box. Anybody can, you know, well, not anybody can get in the ring. It takes gumption to get in there. But anybody can hit a bag. Anybody can hit the pads. Yeah. And for me, when I get a fighter on the pads, it's not a double jab, right hand, left hook, because you're not going to get that off on a world level operator, are you?
Right.
Where can you do, you know, it's very rarely going to happen. I look at the positioning, the way they're throwing the punches, and what they need to do when I look at the sparring, what they need to work on. So I work on specific things where they're weak on. I don't work on the things that they're okay with. I work on the weaknesses.
So if you need to learn more boxing on the back foot, you'll work on more of that defensive work.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just depends on the structure, the build of the fighter. But like you said, it's not just where you put your feet. It's the positioning where you put your body weight. What a lot of people don't understand, because you sit on the back. Where's your right hand coming forward? Can you walk forwards going backwards? The obvious answers, aren't they? You don't need to be Einstein. The simplest things people miss. You know, when you look at it, you know, if you're a back foot fighter, that means you're only going to land that right hand if he comes in. And then you got to time it. So if that fighter's got all the moves, he can fight on the back, fight on the front, he can move to the left, move to the right. Your back foot fighter's going to get beat.
That's right.
Because your back foot fighter is a one-trick pony. You need all the gears. To be a world level operator, you need all of them gears. You need answers. You need answers to everything that other fighter can bring.
It's like a chessboard.
Of course it is.
You got to know the moves.
Listen, it's a given that you need to be tough. It's a given that you need heart. It's a given that you got to do the rounds and dig deep back, then your gum shield. All them are givens to me, because to be a world operator, you got to have them in the first place. But to win world level fights, you need all of these as well.
Especially buying a gum shield, I just heard that. That's a key one.
Exactly. Because
anything can happen. Like if you get a good punch and your head's like spinning, you got to fight through that and recover and carry on and come with a plan, change your plan.
When I train the fighters, I train them where, you know, it's a lot of talking as well. Do not react to the crowd. There's no machoism. You get it. You see the ring, because look, when you get it properly, you don't realise you've been hit. There's no pain there. We all know that because we've been it.
Yeah, bells do it.
Yeah. Well, you either there's flashes, either the ring starts moving, things go wrong, don't they? The brain doesn't correspond with the body. Exactly. The vision can go. You know, these things happen. But we talk about these type of things, and when that happens, and you think, "Whoa,
it's a shock.
This ain't right." Take the knee. Yeah, if that happens, get the count properly. Yeah, and then get up at 6, which means 8. Give yourself a couple of seconds to rise.
Like
yeah, look at the referee, put your hands up, step forward. Roughly, the referee will take a look. You'll get 12 or 13 seconds. They clear your head as much as possible.
Yeah, and hold on.
Don't start running all over the ring. Yeah, trying to get your balance or something because you've got a third man in the ring. He'll wave it off.
Grab.
Yeah,
it looks like you're panicking. It looks like you can't.
Well, when you're like Bambi on ice, you know, you got a third man in the ring, and his ultimate goal is safety.
Yeah.
So if he sees that 9 times out of 10, they'll stop it. If it's a world title fight, they'll let it go a bit longer. But you know, you can't put this trust in referees because they're under pressure as well if they get it wrong.
Yeah.
So you've got to be sensible. So yeah, grabbing hold. If you get it properly, then grabbing hold's not going to work because you're going to go down, aren't you? So, you know, best thing if you get up, we talk about these things, obviously move, get close to the fighter, grab hold, get through the round. You know, all these things is to be discussed because I look at the worst scenario going into fights, not what hopefully will be. If I think, you know, hopefully we're going to win this, then that's a recipe for disaster where I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I work on all of the pitfalls, what's going to go wrong and what's the answers. The other thing as well, a lot of stuff, obviously fights change round by round.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever happens, if you can strategize 80 and 90% of what can unfold in that fight, then when you give that fighter instructions, he's been there, he's heard it before, you've trained for it. The problem is when fighters get in mid-rounds and you haven't strategized for these problems, and then trying to change that fighter in the corner, you might as well knock in on that wood because you're under pressure. You're getting stick. You're having to dig deep and basically fight for your life. You're in the hot seat, aren't you? Then try and take instructions as well, what you don't know about.
Not good.
It's not happening.
No. It's like Brendan used to say, says, make all your mistakes in the gym practice. Make sure you go through every single scenario in the gym. Like I get from you, I could be completely wrong, I get from you that you're a thinking man and that you look at the fight you're dealing with and you figure out, is he weak mentally, is he weak physically, is he emotionally weak, is he timekeeping, does he panic when he's under pressure, does he panic going backwards, can he switch, and then what you do is you put your fighters in different scenarios for situations so that they're comfortable in different scenarios. Is that a fair statement?
100%. You know, when the fight is beginning, nobody likes to get punched back. Nobody likes to get hurt. You know, and you see some fighters, you know, when the sparring, when they're beginning, they'll start and you say, right, stand there and have a toe-to-toe and get stuck in. And defend
themselves at the same time.
And they will do the best that they can. But you can see when they're getting it back, they're tense. They're tense. They're having a bit of a war zone. It looks like a 50-50, but you know, it's draining out of his ass like a plug hole, his energy. Because he's tight.
Nerves as well.
Nerves are going. So I put them in these positions when they're coming on because they have to learn to be comfortable in an uncomfortable environment. So all these things, we can go on a list from 1 to 100. It never stops, but it's constantly talking, practice. So sparring, pad work, we have a look at them on the bags, and then obviously we look at the sparring.
Do any of your fighters, so I trained with Howard Rainey. So I was with, after the Ingles, I was Howard Rainey. He used to do some unconventional things, Howard, honestly. But he knew what he was doing, but he was like, this guy's a madman, right? He'd have me sparring with one patch on.
I did something like that.
You got one eye. Next time you got another eye.
I did that.
And then he'd both eyes and put you in a corner, and he goes, don't knock him out, but it's funny, you fight him blindfold. Then he'd have this invention where it's flat and it's round like a balsa ball. He'd have you sparring on that, and with Clinton Woods on the same height as him. And then he'd take me off that, goes, you've developed on that now, get me 2 bowling balls. And you do it on bowling balls. But you used to think you were mad, and then you used to have to spar with a mesh that would come down.
Yeah.
But then what he'd do is after 6 or 7 rounds of messing you around, I would make a spin round for 5 minutes.
Oh, there you go.
And then say spar.
That's
all sorts of weird things, right? But it made sense after a while, because what he'd do, he says, right, today you can do spar. And then I'm like, oh, right, this is easy now, you know, because he'd put you in weird situations. So then when you could spar normal, it's like, oh, actually, I've got an advantage here, do you know what I mean? He'd take disadvantage. He'd go over the top, but I got what he was trying to do.
It's the same thing we used to do with Bob Shannon, if you know Bob Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I used to train Bob Shannon and Nigel Hardman. Same thing he did, spinning us around, throwing people into spar, different people. So your head's all dizzy and stuff, so get used to it. So when you're in a fight and you're getting a hard punch and you're disorientated, how are you going to handle it? What are you going to do to survive? Little scenarios and stuff to do. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, listen.
And that's what you got to do with fighters. Put them in them predicaments. What are you going to do to get out of it?
But I don't do it. To be honest, I don't do any of that. But I'm not saying it don't work. You know, for me, I just I don't know. We've all got our own ways.
That's right.
Of training.
That's right.
And whatever ways they think is right, it probably is. You know, we've all got our own stuff. You know, of what we do to get the optimum performance out of the fighter.
What would you say if you could choose a best asset in a fighter? What natural asset can a fighter have? A fighter that's a good listener, and he can implement what you're telling him.
Take instructions
Teachable.
And then apply it straight away,
Which is not easy.
No.
They're never going to apply it straight away.
No.
It's like us talking about a fight now, isn't it? And you're trying to do it. It's a lot easier to talk about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
As you know. So basically, talk, isn't it? And we like people say, you know, fighting is another matter altogether. So to get that transition takes time anyway. But still, it's the one who's listening, and he's trying to do the instruction, no matter how bad it's going, he's trying to do it. So he understands what you're saying, and then over time, he's implementing that instruction. They're the ones that progress the quickest, and the ones that doesn't expect big gains. They're happy just to go along and do the thing every day, because this is not a sprint. It takes years to develop fighters and develop them skills. Mentally and physically as well.
It does.
You know, you're a fighter yourself, so it does take that time.
What would you say the biggest asset that you have as a coach? I mean, I'm on the outside. I think for you, I think you're an excellent communicator. Like, I think that respect is I can see that people respect you. Do you understand what? They don't want to listen to you. You understand what I mean? Because if you haven't got that, then they're not listening, are they?
Yeah, I think so. I just think what I say is what I believe in. And I don't believe it. I know if they do what I tell them, it works. Because boxing and the training is not a difficult thing for me to fathom things out. So it's pretty black and white, what I see. I see life as black and white anyway. There's no need to complicate stuff. So that's what I see. So I'm trying to help the fighter and do the best I can for the fighter. So if the fighter listens and he's a good person, that's fine. If they don't listen and it's not good, then they're not going to be with me, are they? So it's pretty clear for me. I don't rule with an iron stick, do this, do what I tell you. It's not about that. It's about helping the fighter, because ultimately they need to know. And sometimes they do need a harsh word in speaking to them. Because, you know, you can't pussyfoot around. You can get injured in there, you can get killed in there. You know, so do it properly. But what I say is what I believe, 100%.
And you're protecting the fighter. That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're protecting him from his dangerous sport.
It ain't no macho image. If I see a fighter and he's getting all lopsided and he's getting half killed in there, and he's taking undue punches, and I know the difference between where heavy punches can damage you and punches where you're not too bad, I would pull the fighter out. I ain't interested in getting me fighter killed. I'm interested to protect the fighter, seeing a good fight and getting the result with as least pain as possible, being able to fight another day and coming out with a win.
That's it.
I accidentally came up with saying that a couple of years ago, and everyone always pulls me, and like just out of the blue, I said, boxing is all about ability, it's about stability. And the fighter, I've seen over the years fighters that have got so much talent, but they just drift off because they don't find that stability in their life, don't find the right trainer, the right wife. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
It is so...
It's major. You got a fighter that's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Because the fighter, how can he take instructions when he's not stable? Whether it be in his own life or whatever, it all plays a part. But what I need when a fighter comes in that gym is total dedication. Not somebody that's going to go in the gym, go outside and forget you till the next day. You know, you've got to live and breathe this game. If you want to improve, you're like that when you go home. Yeah, well, do this, do that, do this. You're thinking about it. That's how you get better, isn't it? Because you're constantly thinking about it.
You've got no distractions.
No, exactly.
Sometimes I used to lose sleep because I'd go to bed and analyse in the day, like, I'm awake now, I would never sleep. You're like, because you've got to, like, it's that fine line of switching off and getting recovery, innit? I could just think all night and then I'd wake up and I'm ready to go back in the game.
But, you know, I see world title fights, you know, at all weights. And I think to myself, that strategy is all over the place. So it's easy to get things wrong. It's not a criticism. They've trained for a certain fight. And they think that's the right way to do it. But sometimes when I look at fights and I think, why is he fighting like that against an opponent like this? So for me, there's things like that can happen. Also, they might see the same when my fighters are fighting. It's just what you see, isn't it?
Well, all trainers have a different perspective and see a fight differently than you'd see a fight. You know what I mean? So it's how you see it, really. Yeah.
I've always said I think trainers need the best respect in the world. Because a lot of them's unrewarded. They put the life and soul into it. They don't get the payback. You know, so. You know, trainers need the utmost respect because, you know, it's Groundhog Day. It's twice a day, every day. It's not a forgiving sport. It's hard work.
Well, we thank you for what you put into it. Like, it's not unseen with the hardcore people and all boxing. We know that, like, you're not just helping your fights. You're helping the industry. Do you know what I mean? And like the last year, you've started to do more and more podcasts, this, that, and the other, and it's been great to listen to it. I've seen them all, by the way. I've listened to them all. I find you.
We've been listening to it.
That's why the first time I met you, I said it's a pleasure to meet you. You know what I mean? It's like I actually regret not reaching out to you sooner because I've known Matt for a long time, and I could have done that sooner. But they're just things line when they're gonna like.
No, I'm glad you like them, but for me, it's how can you say? Listen, I like to help people. I've always done that all my life anyway, although I've not been that good of a person when I was younger. But at the end of the day, if you can provide something and you can speak something out and help people, then do it. You're not a good person to think, I keep that to myself. You know, share. It's about sharing. It's about young people doing well. That's it. Because listen, if you're a selfish person, then you can't be a trainer. No. So it's true. That's it. It's all about giving and doing the best you can.
There's no point in having a gift and not sharing it, right? Because it dies with you. You know what I mean? I always think of Mike Tyson when I say he was the last person to train with custom art full on, right? And if he don't train anyone, it dies. You know what I mean? It's a chain of events. So the stuff that you're doing, you're continually passing it on and making sure that people are helped within the industry, you know what I mean? Like, and what you're doing is bringing eyes to boxing.
No, I hope I am. That's a good thing. because we do the best we can. You can only speak as you see it and speak the truth as you see it. So that's it. I see the world through my own eyes, not through other people's. So I just say what I see and say what I feel, and I think that's all you can do. Not speak and have a filter on.
That sounds like a good trade, because when you got a fighter who doesn't trust you and you're just speaking the mind, just telling it as it is, he's gonna respect you more, isn't he?
Yeah, listen, when fighters, you know, I can see them, they walk out the gym sometimes, they got their head down.
Yeah.
But they need to know a few harsh realities.
Reality.
You know,
Tell them as it is.
Yeah, you know, how can a fighter that's had half zero fights think he's the best thing since sliced bread? Don't come to where I train, because you're not here.
No.
You know, how can somebody be like that? There's no what are they, a miracle worker or something?
You get them fighters anyway.
Yeah,
I've had them. I've had them. I trained fighters myself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You've had them.
I've even heard kids in the amateurs now saying they need training camps, so they're in for 3 months.
Training camps, nah,
like,
man.
The amateurs, you just turn up and fight with you when you're getting.
Listen,
talking of amateurs, yeah, we got James Dean here now. Yeah, now I send him to boxing. Do I come to any of those amateur fights?
No.
I've been to one, haven't I?
Yeah, but you are.
One or two. That's it. Get your bag, get up there, and get the fights. Win, lose, or draw. Because I want him to have 50 or 60 fights before he turns professional. Yeah. Win or lose them, I'm not really interested.
Experience is getting.
Get up there, get up. I sent him to Scotland the other day. And John Morosi put that William Wallace thing on, didn't he? That cup. And he went up there and he got a good result up there.
Our box cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he won that, which was good. So it's all about, he's gone up there by himself. In a hotel, he's got it to do, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's that mental strength building.
Mindset. Very good.
It's that mental strength building as well. You know, and like old Brendan used to do, painting lampposts. You know, I tell him to do things, and I say, right, I don't need him to do anything. You know, but I do need him to do it because I want him to shape his character. I want him to understand nothing's given. You know, earn everything.
Work for it.
Work. Listen, the best thing that young people can ever have, and my father done it with me, which is his grandfather, yeah? Not his grandfather, his great-grandfather. I keep losing the count of it all. But basically, my father put us to work from 8 years of age. Best thing in my life.
Yeah.
Work, do the work and get paid for it. Same.
Funny enough.
So
that's how we brought up as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Them old values, they come back. And looking at it now as an older man, you see the benefit of all that. So nothing's for free. What do you want to do? Sit and look at an iPad or on an iPhone and say, "There's a few hundred quid."
Get up and do something.
I wouldn't do that.
Make your money.
You're ruining people when you do that. So young lads coming through, like giving him an example, that's what they need. They need that structure. All of this, like using him as an example. When he gets older and does well in boxing, he'll pass that on
to the younger ones.
And that's what we should be doing as older people. 100%. We should be guiding the young ones to do
life skills,
to do the best things, life skills as well as boxing.
It's discipleship.
Exactly. It all goes a long way.
And we're losing that now. We're losing that in society. Men are against.
I'll tell you what we've got here. We've got men who's women and women who's men today. It's all going backwards. All this transgender shit.
I know.
Listen,
I can't keep up.
I know.
It's against my faith anyway.
Well, against my faith, boys. Like, I work in a children's home, so I've got to put up with that as well. But it's a job. We've got to go along with it.
The thing that I struggle with is, like, I went for... So I do a bit of personal training in the gym. I won't mention the gym, but I had to fill out a form.
You messed up.
I had to fill out this form. There's
a lot of things you can't even say.
Both. Did you put both, John?
He asked me what's my gender. I'm like, what do you mean? You hit this click down box. There's 88 options. 88 options. I'm like,
wow.
Male or female, innit? And it's not trying to be offensive, just can't keep up with it.
It's gone stupid, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's a law. That's how it is. You should read the Bible. That's what I need to do, read the Bible. And the Bible, people not reading it no more. You know what I mean? Because things are coming to pass now. People, and it's going past everybody's eyes and not seeing it. You understand?
Not only are they not seeing it, the churches are not being used anymore. People don't go in them.
The churches are like warehouses now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Selling them off.
Yeah.
Not my church. My church's got 2,000 people in the service.
Yeah, that'd be a gym soon, your church, mate. I'm joking.
When you get up on there, I've got up and talked to the platform before.
Have you?
You used to be a pastor.
I used to preach. Right?
Listen, 2,000, listen, you do, whatever you're preaching, you're doing well.
Wow.
She can tell you. She's my boss. She tells me. She sits down and goes through it all with me before I do it.
Yeah.
But I find out more back in than fighting.
Yeah.
You know, like all the faces looking at you, and you've got to.
I know it's nerves. You got to get overcome it.
So basically, I went and accidentally. She walked me to the Lord, and then after 3 or 4 months, they realised I'm an actual communicator. So they sent me to Bible school, and I went to Bible school for 2 years. And I went through a section where they teach you how to preach, and how you do a preach is you break it down into 5.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a clock. So it's like 5 minutes on the iceberg, 5 minutes on the teaching point, 5 minutes on the testimony, 5 minutes on the celebrations.
Yeah, bringing them food. Yeah, to the altar.
You're watching the clock and you're thinking, I've got to get it, and within this 5. Otherwise, you're ready to the next 5.
To do anything properly, it takes study, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, to get that message across. I remember I was in prison. We had this doing these exam things, and in this exam, you had to stand up and speak. So this guy, he's been to Cambridge, and he's been to Cambridge University, and you know, don't ask me how he's got in there, but he talked like royalty to me. Yeah, it was a pleasure to listen
long words.
to the way he spoke. I thought, it's like a breath of fresh air. This is, I'm in the slums and I've got somebody who's like talking like royalty. So every time he used to speak, I used to listen to him, just hear his voice.
Because you respect him, don't you?
Anyway, so he's talking. So anyway, he gets up. Now he's superbly educated. Anyway, he gets up and he's got his lines and he's practicing. And I can see the sweat is starting to come off his forehead. Yeah, he's as nervous as anything, and he's humming an hour. He's going, whoa, 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 and he's not getting any sense out of him at all. Now, somebody like me, when my father put me to work as an 8-year-old, I got up there, speak for England. That was my best point.
Was you educated?
No,
same. Well, we were educated, but I was dyslexic.
I'm dyslexic too. Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Where I can read something, but it looks like 1,000 words to me, and I will get them. But I can speak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Don't you?
Yeah.
Speak.
Well, everybody's got different attributes.
Yeah.
My concentration spans.
Mine's short.
Is very little.
Yeah, mine as well.
But especially, my concentration span's excellent if I like it and I'm interested.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm reading about the Blessed Lord and things about the afterlife and all of this, you know, I can be boxing or what. If I'm interested in it, then I'll every detail it. But if I'm not interested in it, it's not happening.
That's right.
They'll just go in here and have that.
I've only read one book that thick once in my life. No, not Bible. I was in Denmark training. With Michael Kessler. I was so bored. I read the whole book. Manchester Gangs. The whole lot. I knew people in there for, this is interesting. The whole book.
I think I might have a few paragraphs in there myself.
Yeah, I think,
I remember that book.
It's a yellow one, That's the one I read the whole lot.
That's right, Yeah.
I know still got it. It can sign it for you at the end.
I'll sign it for you.
I'll try and find it.
I think there is a paragraph, a few pages in there.
I think I've read it, Yeah, man.
It rings a bell. So my memory's still good.
Listen, I wanted to ask you this. Let's change subject for a second. Ultrapreneurness. Where does that ultrapreneurness come from? Because you're natural at that. Ultrapreneurness.
Where you're making the money first, before you started being a millionaire, where you first started.
What I mean is, there's people that go to school, they get a university degree and all the rest of it, right? And I'm an entrepreneur. I struggle. I couldn't work for anyone. I can't have a boss. I just can't do it. I have to be my own boss. I have my own employees. Do you understand what I mean? I can't do it.
I'll tell you what my mindset is, from being a young farmer. I never had I never worked for anybody because I never had the option. That's number one.
Okay.
But if I had no money, yeah, and I could work for somebody, then I'd be prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So it's your situation.
Right.
Because we all need each other. Even today, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for other people.
Right.
And we seldomly fail to understand. Proper people don't. Without people, I wouldn't be anything.
Yeah.
We're not a one-man island.
No. We need people.
So to earn our living, the food we put in our mouth, everything is a culmination of everybody's effort. To where we are today, even sitting on the settee. So our lifestyles is dependent on other people. Yeah, if you've got a drive and you're intelligent enough to understand and you've got a high work ethic, I've got a ridiculous work ethic. When I go to work, go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm tired and I want to lie in, I can lie in. But believe me, even today, I'm up 10 to 6 every morning.
Because you don't want to miss a day.
Because there's a lot in me there.
Yeah.
So, and I've had people say to me, well, you're doing all this running around. You know, even today, London, back, you know, there's a lot of things I'm doing, which I have to do anyway. But the work ethic has got to be there. It's the same with when I go back to the boxing and the fighters. They've got to have that work ethic, because I think to myself, you know, I could work harder than you now, and I'm in my 50s. So you just know they're not going to make it through your own life experience, you know, and you can tell who's going to make it and who's not, and who's going to bite down on the gun shield the most.
It's true.
You know, this new generation, they talk about, you know, like working smart rather than working hard. I think it's a combination. I think in our generation is a little bit blessed because I grew up working the hard, and now I'm around software and I do all my businesses online, and I've learned actually you can work a bit smarter as well, you know, like you can get time back by
IT, you know, look, there's all stuff. I'm clueless on all of that, so it's not my line. I can only look how I work myself, but people earn phenomenal amounts of money through this IT and all this, and good luck to them. They're clever, they're astute, and they know what they're doing. So there is easier ways to earn a living.
And there's hard ways.
But you know, you can only try and pick the easiest way that you know, and something that's going to get you paid.
Tell us a story about the van, the first van you bought, the small little van. With the horse shit.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us about that. So how did you pay for the van? How did you pay for the van? Tell us all.
You know, I paid for that van.
You did well. That was it. That was it. You did it.
You know, by walking down the road, cutting a branch, mowing somebody's grass. Do you want anything? Listen, going to an MOAP bungalows and saying, listen, do you want me to go to a shop for you?
Wow. It don't matter. It's still using your brain.
Anything.
Yes.
Yeah. 50 pence, 20 pence, a pound. Yeah. So that probably took me, and I passed by, I think, and I seen this little van. And I said to the fellow, you know, would you sell this van? And he looked at me and he went, well, he said, funny enough, he said, yeah. He said, are you a mind reader? He said, there's no for sale sign on it. He said, but yeah, it's failed its MOT, and I'll sell it you. And I think this van was about £75, which might as well have been 75 grand at the time, because I had about 75 pence. So, so I got this money together, and it took me bits and pieces, and I kept knocking on his door and giving him a fiver, giving him a tenner, giving him whatever.
You can see your determination doing that, though.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
And the fella said to me, you know, and he did say to me, he said, you're a phenomenal young fella, you, he said, because you said you have in this van, and you've paid me to the pound. I think it took me, I don't know, it might have took me 6 or 7 months to pay for this van.
Wow.
Probably 9 months to pay for this van.
Doesn't matter.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying. So, bearing in mind, when I was a young kid growing up, and there was no work or nothing like that, I'd be sat on my mother and father's step and throwing a stone in a bucket, thinking, what can I do to get some money on? Things was hard back then, you know, so, and that's how I got the money to pay for the first van.
You forgot about the horse shit. I'm getting the van.
Yeah, we had to save up and,
Where did you find it? That, oh shit. Put in the van.
just at local farmers,
Yeah.
I just, I don't know if it was horse shit or cow shit or whatever it was.
It was fuel though,
It was a big heap of shit.
It worked though, innit?
So what did he say? Where's shit, there's money. We done that. So, I done that.
Yeah.
So basically, listen, it was hard back then. I'd have a shovel in one hand, holding the bag with the other and tipping it in like that.
Did you wear gloves?
No.
Did you have
I don't have
sanitizer?
money for gloves. Never had sanitizer, no. I just wipe the hands on my trousers. That'd be it. Yeah. So we've done all that and, got the manure and stuff and sold it and yeah.
So who was your first customer for that?
God knows. Yeah, well, I went into this, actually I've told a story about this. I know why you're asking me.
At least,
But you know what? I never forget it because the van conked out of fuel. I had my last £2, nothing, and I've got 15 bags of shit in the back, and the van sat on the floor. It's got no MOT in it. It's got nothing. I thought, if ever the police come, I've lost all the years hard work. Yeah, probably going to get locked up with this van. Anyway, they rolled onto this council estate. Lucky.
Wow.
It went over this hill, and there was a hill there. I'm trying to think of what it was, near Accrington. Yeah. And he rolled onto this council estate. Anyway, I knocked on a few doors, nobody there. One or two said no, maybe, I can't really remember. And then somebody's come to the back of the van and took all of it. Wow. And you know what? I got about, I can't remember, 10. If there's 15 bags, 10 to 12 pounds or something.
Yeah.
It was like lottery.
Wow.
And I come back, I thank the blessed Lord. I run to the petrol station.
Full that tank up, man.
Happy as anything.
Simple thing in life.
Well, listen, when you've got zero,
determination, that is good
when you've got zero and you look to be losing everything you've got, the van, the shit, whatever, then it's made you money.
Wow.
But that's what I'm talking about. Every time I listen to your podcast, them little things, I just love that.
It sticks in your brain.
The
little funny
that
thing.
you've got. Now it drifted and then it drifted and then it drifted. Then you went onto the cars. You became.
You bought your own law as well. You bought your own plot.
I mean, I find that stuff fascinating. Like other people.
Do you know, I've managed, to just listen. It's all the blessed Lord has guided me. And now I look back, I see that the blessed Lord was in my life back then. And without the blessed Lord, there's nothing. So I attribute everything to the blessed Lord, even my failures. So it is what it is, but something's always been there where I've managed to get through. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how bleak it is. And I've been in some very bleak situations where talking about things, rational, you've got no chance. But, there's always, if you believe and your faith is that strong and you want something that bad, you'll get it. If your faith is there.
True.
And it comes back to that. I always want to say when you read what they have to say in the Bible, what Jesus said in the Bible when he said, if your faith is as big as a mustard seed, you can move that mountain.
That's right. Yeah, definitely.
And this is the thing. So it's not, some things don't seem feasible. Even in law, I've had back then QCs tell me that I've got no chance. It's going this way, there's nothing we can do, and that's it. So I said, if there's nothing I can do, there's no point paying you any longer. So I had no counsel, nothing. I'm dealing with the case for so many months by myself, and I got somebody in, somebody who helped me, and he did help me. Without him, I wouldn't have got anywhere. So again, you're not a one-man army, going back to what I said.
That's right.
And, and I found some light at the end of it. And, and it turned out to be okay. And nobody said it would be okay. Even specialists in law said it wouldn't be okay. So it was all proven wrong. Which again tells me, who can really tell me anything?
That's it.
If I know what's what, and I believe in it, then then I'll listen to what people say. But if I believe my own beliefs, I'll go my own way with it.
That's it.
And it got me through. And my faith got me through as well. Because listen, if you've got no beliefs and things go terribly, terribly wrong, and you're looking, your life is in the balance, that where the life you've had's gone, and there's not going to be another one. If you're in that situation, and a lot of people hasn't been in that situation, and a lot of people has, if you've got no faith to fall back on, then what's the point of seeing tomorrow out if there's nothing?
I get you.
So your rationale of every day, what I'm trying to say is, it can look as bleak as whatever it can be. You know, if you're firm in your beliefs and you've got that there, then and you believe it in your soul, then that's all you need. It'll carry you through.
That's true.
We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
That's right.
And I've had no tomorrows, and all of a sudden tomorrow's come. When it's been nigh on impossible that tomorrow's come, if you understand. But it's come.
I think listening to you, your testimony is for someone else's test. And then when they look at what you've been through, the redemption of your life, like you're so convicted in every decision you make. I can see that it's right, this is what I'm going to do, wrong or right, this is what I'm going to do. You're convicted. And you've gone through certain amount of things. We don't need to go over whatever the other podcast has said about you, this, that, the other. We don't need to go into it. But what I would like to say is that have you figured out that life and all that you went through and all the decisions you made, have you found out what God's purpose was for that?
I think when I was a young lad, I believed in the blessed Lord, I didn't know how to say prayers, I was clueless. Yeah, I didn't go to church when I was a young lad.
But how did you have that faith? Was it through your family?
Through my family, my father and stuff.
Yeah.
And watching how he went to work every day, coming back and putting food on the table. I seen it.
Yeah.
But then, you lose your way as a young fella.
Yeah.
So I would say is, if there's a straight road there, I've done a 360 degrees round the circle, so I've took the long route.
Because you want to see what's on the other side to get experience to come back around again on the straight road.
Well, no, I never planned it like that. I fell off the railway tracks, basically. So...
Right.
We met Adam Smith recently, and Adam obviously went through, a situation with cancer.
Yes, I know he did.
And we got in front of Adam, and we grew up watching Adam being the voice of boxing. So we were like little kids around him. Like he's never met us from Adam, right? And then we're in his house, and we're in his house, and he got a bit emotional listening to we're in the industry, but we're also fans, and telling him how he blessed us and thanked him and this, that, and the other. So. You've never met us before today, just once at the boat.
That's right.
But we've been watching for a very long time. I mean, a very long time. We're not talking like you arrived on the scene 3 years ago and you're going viral. I'm talking well back, right at the start. We know about all your history. And when I listen to you, when I read the Bible, I've got a strong character as well, but being around you, I'm thinking, wow, my character, your character, it's like, wow, there's development still to be done, right?
It's like an angel to you.
So we have background.
Yeah.
I have a background too, before I met Christ, before I met my wife. I grew up with certain individuals that went to school but ended up being the biggest drug dealers in Leeds, and I went to school with them, I was in class with them, I was surrounded by it all, right? But that's my last life. But what I'm trying to get at is, in the Bible, it talks about Apostle Paul, all right? And Apostle Paul killed thousands of Christians, all right? And he was knocked off his horse on the way to Damascus, and God turned the direction of his life, and he became the biggest possible why we're all believers now. Without that event happening, he don't get out into the world, so only God can judge you. And so when I listen to your story and what you went through, and there'll be thousands of us without you knowing, listening to what you've been through, but take inspiration from your story and learn from your story. Do you know what I mean? There's redemption for everyone. That's why your story is interesting, I think, for a lot of people, because they can see that no matter how bleak life gets, this, that, and the other, you can come again.
100%, you can come again, and that's every day's another day.
That's
you're
right.
given another
you
chance.
have to give blessing for every day you wake up.
Yeah, exactly. You can. And if my life and what we talk about and it helps others, then that's the main thing. Because what does a Christian do? A Christian is not about you. It's about helping others and trying to guide them.
Amen.
And through your own failures as well.
That's right.
You know, learn from your failures.
That's
and
it.
we've all had them.
Yeah.
We've all had them.
Pass it on to other people as well.
Yeah.
So don't make that mistake as well.
I'm classed as an evangelist, so accidentally when I'm in church, I don't even want to have this. My wife laughs. If I go to church, I got to go in late and leave early. Because if I go in church on time, I ain't getting out for 8 hours. The men just drift towards me. They're just fascinated, wanting to listen. Because they've heard my testimony on. We're not going to be here because we'll be here for another 10 hours, but they've heard my testimony on stage, what I went through and the things that I did and how I had a background and I went from that background, and they're fascinated by that stuff. That's what people are fascinated by. Life's bleak, but you can turn it around in a second. Does that make any sense? So I think that what your message is and what I try my message to be, I don't share the message, I be the message. So I don't necessarily, even with my clients, I'm always saying, you're more than a conqueror. The flesh is weak, but the spirit is strong. They don't even know that I'm using scripture.
Parables, yeah. They don't understand it.
Parables, I use messages. I lead them.
That's true, the flesh is weak.
Yeah.
But but the spirit is a lot stronger.
It is, because it tells you when you're going to go and do something, it'll tell you in the spirit, you might have read the spirit and you many times, and you, but you'll say, and you try and fight against it, and your flesh will just go and do that, and you regret it afterwards. You think, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that?
But
and that's how you learn. It's learning.
Yeah, but if the regret's there, and there's something, you got a temptation, you're struggling to keep from it. When you know the regret's there, eventually you leave it.
Amen.
A lot of people can't do anything first time around.
That's right.
It takes practice.
Yes.
But eventually, when you develop a conscience and you know it's wrong, you stop doing it.
That's right. Yeah.
And look, everybody deserves a second chance. Well, I say everybody, and that discounts all child molesters and sex offenders. I don't forgive that at all, to be honest. So, but apart from that, I think a lot of people can be forgiven for a lot of stuff, providing they're sincere with it.
100%.
That's right. Definitely.
Listen, we could literally talk all day long. We'll leave it there because we appreciate Peter's time. But if you'll have us, we'll come talk to you again and we'll get into it.
Definitely. Thank you for having me as well, Peter.
We really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
That's good. I appreciate it.
Guys, before we check out, Peter, tell them where they can find your podcast. You need to be watching this podcast. It's a great podcast.
It's with Boxing Now, Peter Fury, Real Talk. Tune in.
We're on set right now. This is his set.
Thank you very much.
This is where it happens.
Here in the studio, we feel blessed to be here.
Yeah.
Guys, where can they find you on Instagram as well? Social media handles.
It's just my name.
Just his name. The link will be below.
That's
Guys,
right.
don't forget to like, share, and comment.
And don't forget to subscribe and tell a friend.
Hit the notification button, otherwise you don't get the notification.
And we're here.
And we out.
Hi.
13th and the final round. Hit them up, man. That's it.